What up, what up, what up to all on this beautiful day, on this beautiful day, on this beautiful day. I'm your host, Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk. Whenever you watch this airing, this particular episode, do me a favor. What I ask is to push this live feed out is to hit that thumbs up button if you ain't subscribed to the channel. Once you tap in, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe, share the channel with somebody, and most importantly, drop your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Drop your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Again, I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk, and the new channel that just got launched, Premier Sports Video for you. And on this particular segment today, I'm going to be discussing Bill Belichick getting snubbed from the Hall of Fame. Despite his credentials, I'm going to be talking upon my Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm homegrown from Pittsburgh, born and raised there. Actually retired here down in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to speak on briefly Coach Mike McCarthy being named as the head coach, which was a surprise to everybody, and the new defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I will be wrapping it up with what's going on up there in Cleveland with the Cleveland Browns and the new head coach that they just hired. And it's just crazy. I just thought it was Shador Sanders and the bad media narrative that goes against him, but I'm seeing that Cleveland just ain't happy, period, up there. They just ain't happy, period. They haven't been good in a long time up there in Ohio with the Cleveland Browns, and they all they do is spew negativity, y'all. All they do is spew negativity. But first, again, I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk. Do me a favor, drop your comments down here. I believe I got it opened up to the public. Everybody can drop your comments, good, bad, or indifferent, how you feel. Let me know who your favorite NFL sports team is. And to help to push the feed out, hit that thumbs up button. If you care to subscribe to the channel. And just thank you for being a blessing. Thank you for being a blessing. So, the first thing I want to discuss is my Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to give you the black and gold premier drop. My Pittsburgh Steelers. My Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, the agenda I'm going to be talking on, I'm going to speak briefly on the Steelers and what they did recently. I'm going to talk on Bill Belichick getting snubbed in the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to close it up with the Cleveland Browns. Oh, and I got a little NBA. We got the NFL season closing out with the Super Bowl coming up. I'm going to be pushing a lot of NBA content, various teams, and I'm going to be college basketball and WNBA content. So the black and gold premier drop for this particular week is, bear with me there, trying to have this come up here, is that Mike McCarthy, homegrown, says hometown coach, Mike McCarthy, previous head coach for the Green Bay Packers, won a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, Mike McCarthy beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. I remember that night going to a Super Bowl party and how I didn't make it home that day till the very next day. That's a story within itself, but Mike McCarthy's coming back home to Pittsburgh. He was born and raised in there in Pittsburgh. Again, like I said, he coached the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. After leaving the Green Bay Packers, he went on to coach the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Never made a Super Bowl there with them. And now the hometown man, can't call him a hometown boy, the hometown man is coming back home. And it was a surprise to me. I thought the Steelers was going to continue with how they've done in the past with coaching, bringing young up-and-coming coaches, in their 30s to coach the team. Mike McCarthy is only the fourth Pittsburgh Steelers coach in the history of the team. He's only the fourth Pittsburgh Steelers coach in the history of the team. We had Mike Tomlin, who just resigned after 19 years. Prior to that, we had Bill Cowher, And then prior to that, we had Coach Chuck Noll. And now the new era in Pittsburgh, we had Coach Mike Tomlin. Let me know if any of you are any Steelers fans. How do y'all? Matter of fact, it don't matter if you're a Steelers fan or not. Let me know how y'all feel. Drop it down in the comments of how you feel about Mike McCarthy taking on the new era for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, with the young age that he is at, he's not going to be there for another 10 plus years. That's just not going to happen, y'all. That's just not going to happen. But you know, all the previous coaches, Tom and Cowher and Coach Noll, were all defensive coaches. Mike McCarthy comes in with an offensive mind. So I'm looking forward to see how he does with my Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I'm looking forward to see how the Steelers do. The question's still up in the air if they're going to, if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. Me personally, Aaron Rodgers, I thank you for all you did. You had a wonderful NFL career. Go ahead on and hang out over there in Malibu in California, ride that surfboard, and commentate on the Pat McAfee show. But there is some talk that him and Mike Tomlin might be doing a podcast. So that would be pretty interesting there. But it's time to go on with a new era in Pittsburgh. Let that national championship winning quarterback, Will Howard, give him the opportunity to possibly take over the team there in Pittsburgh. You know, we got Mason Rudolph still there. Me personally, I would like to see Mason Rudolph mentor Will Howard, who was the national champion for the Ohio State when they won the national championship 2 years ago. I would like to see Will Howard get an opportunity. There is some talk that Malik Willis may be going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be happy either way it go. So the first thing Mike McCarthy did when he came on was hired on as the new head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was a surprise to me. Anthony Weaver interviewed for the defensive coordinator position. He's highly known, but Mike McCarthy chose to select 47-year-old Patrick Graham as the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive coordinator. He has really good experience here. Like I said, he's 47 years old. He was the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins in 2019. From 2020 to 2021, he was the New York Giants defensive coordinator. In this past year, I ain't going to hold it against them. The Raiders didn't have the players on the team. He was the Las Vegas Raiders defensive coordinator from 2022 to 2025. The Steelers came a-calling. I guess he was smart and decided that he couldn't pass up the opportunity. He comes under the being mentored by Bill Belichick and Brian Flores. Brian Flores also did interview for this particular job, but the Minnesota Vikings made him Brian Flores an offer that he couldn't refuse, gave him some more money, and he went back. He's going to be the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, drop your comments in here. Y'all should be able to drop your comments down in here. Let me know who your NFL team is. Let me know your thoughts on the information that I'm dropping to you here. Let me know your thoughts. So the next thing I want to go to, which was a really big surprise this particular week, and it blew me away, y'all. You know, I don't care how you feel about Bill Belichick. You know, I was never, with me being a homegrown, born and raised Pittsburgh Steelers young man, and been bleeding black and yellow all my life. You know, the New England Patriots always been a nemesis to my Pittsburgh Steelers. But there is no way, y'all. There was no way that Bill Belichick should not been a first ballot Hall of Famer, y'all. There's no way. There's just no way. Just no way, y'all. Just no way. Now, you know, the sports reporters are the one that does the majority. They I think there's like 50 of them. Sports reporters, they vote people into the Hall of Fame. But this is highway robbery, y'all. Look at this on the screen here. This is highway robbery. I know there was a deflate gate, but that was really like a thing what Brady was doing, and there was another little cheek scandal there about the team public relations staff and their media team was filming the plays of the opposite teams on the sidelines trying to get their signals. So yeah, there was those two little scandals going on there, but it wasn't nothing to where the point that this man should not. And I'm gonna say this again, to where the NFL sports writers should have not allowed this man to go into the Hall of Fame has a first round ballot Hall of Famer, y'all. There's just no way. Look at this. The man was in the league for 24 seasons. Out of 24 seasons, he won 6 Super Bowl titles, y'all. 6 Super Bowl titles. He had a total of 9 Super Bowl appearances. Look at this. 24 seasons in the NFL, 6 Super Bowls, 9 appearances. He won 6, but he won a total of 8 Super Bowls. Some of y'all, if you didn't know, now you're about to know. He won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, and he won the 2 other Super Bowls, which gives him a total of 8. 2 Super Bowls has a coordinator on the team, y'all. How does he not get in as a first round ballot? That's just crazy, y'all. How does he not get in? I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Look at that. 17 AFC titles, 266 NFL regular season wins, y'all. 266. The only coach that had more wins than him is Shula, the previous coach for the Miami Dolphins. He had a total of 30 playoff wins. 30 NFL playoff wins. This is just highway robbery. I am not a New England Patriots fan, but wrong is wrong, y'all. Wrong is wrong. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. I just, tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree or not. Tell me if you agree or not. But I got to check something real quick. I need to check something real quick. So that backdrop there, some other breaking news that occurred the previous week there. As you can see Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, is with his son, Shedeur Sanders. And all the news was dropping about Shedeur Sanders being named as a replacement to play in the AFC Pro Bowl game, playing the games, y'all. The Pro Bowl ain't the Pro Bowl like it used to be, okay? It used to mean something back in the day when I was a young lad. Now, they didn't want the players to get injured, so they're playing all kind of sports challenging games, dodgeball, throwing the ball at targets. They do play a flag football game, obstacles, challenges in the Pro Bowl now. It's not the old school tackle football full pads Pro Bowl game. It's more like a sports challenge, and everybody's up in the uproar with Shedeur Sanders being able to get put into the go to the Pro Bowl games, obstacle challenge games. Everybody's in an uproar, but there's a difference between being named as an all-pro player and being a replacement player to play in the Pro Bowl games. You got Pro Bowl games, and then you got all-pro selections. There's a difference. One is being named as a replacement to play in the games. The other one is the all-pro selection. So everybody's all in this uproar about Shedeur being named as a replacement player, but he's not selected as an all-pro. I just want to make that clear to everybody. Nobody was in an uproar when Drake May, who was only won 3 games last year for the New England Patriots, and he played in the Pro Bowl games as a replacement player. Nobody was in an uproar when Russell Wilson got named as a replacement player. Nobody was in an uproar when Peyton Manning, his first time, played in the Pro Bowl games. Well, back then he actually played in an actual football game. Both Peyton Manning and Tom Brady first Pro Bowls was as a replacement player. And I believe those Peyton Manning and Brady was actual all-pro selections. Shedeur Sanders is not being named as an all-pro selection. He's named as a pro play in the all-pro games as a replacement player. And what the news that just dropped today is to try to get more eyes on the Pro Bowl. I even got to look it up and see the dates of how many days these Pro Bowl games is going to be going on. Is that they just announced that Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, will be coaching one of the pro game, flag football game. He'll be one of the coaches. I got to do some research and see who's going to be the other coach. But Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, for the Pro Bowl, was going to put a lot more eyes on it. Is going to be the head coach for one of the all-pro teams. Now, I would like to see it be a lot competitive and they don't match up Coach Prime with his son, Shedeur. I want to see Shedeur getting bragging rights and going against his father. That would be pretty interesting. That would be pretty interesting, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. So, there's some other information I want to drop in here. Is what's crazy is some where's my little thing at? Look at that. Check me out there, y'all. Check me out. Got my little referee shirt on, blowing the whistle. Some other breaking news that occurred. It just got announced today was that which I did not see coming because he was the special team coach for the Cleveland Browns. Bubba Patron. And what surprised me is Bubba Patron was the special teams coach for the Cleveland Browns, and the special teams have played horrible this particular year. But what was amazing to me is that my Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Rams, despite how the Cleveland Browns special teams was playing, both the Rams and the Steelers was trying to hire him as their special teams coach. Crazy, y'all, just crazy. Crazy. Here's a picture of him. Bubba Patron there, y'all. The Rams just hired Bubba Patron, formerly the special team coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, where the special teams for the Cleveland Browns this year cost Kevin Stefanski at least 3 games off the top of my head with sports special teams play. Teams running the ball past the 50-yard line on them. Kickoff returns getting ran against them. The special teams dropping the ball on kickoff returns and punt returns and fumbling. The Cleveland Browns played horrible, and yet Bubba Patron was sought after by the Pittsburgh Steelers, my Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Rams, and the Rams snatched them up. So all I want to say is congratulations to you. And then one of the last interviews I saw watching the Cleveland media up there is Bubba Patron. He wasn't scared to tell the truth. He said the reason why the special teams hasn't been playing to the standard that they should be performance at is because the talent of the players. He says we got to be honest here and look at what he has as far as his players. He kind of threw his players under the bus, so I didn't like what he did there. But he was being honest. A lot of their players got injured on special teams. Their key player veterans got injured got knocked out for the season. But the talent that he has just wasn't that good. And, he pretty much was trying to say that's the reason why they played horribly. But Bubba Patron is now going to be with the Rams as their special teams coordinator. So before I get to there's one more thing I want to get to right here. So there was an announcement that was made up there in Cleveland You know, the Browns finally selected their head coach. Everybody thought it was going to be Nate Skillhouse, the Rams pass coordinator, the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He pulled out. He got offered more money by the Jaguars, so he's going back to be the one of the assistant offensive coordinators for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He'd interviewed with the Browns. He got interviewed by the Buffalo Bills. If you don't know, he's going back with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He pulled out as a contingency there. That left Nate Skillhouse, that's the pass game coordinator for the Rams. That left Todd Monken, who was the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator for the past 3 years, and that left Jim Schwartz. And it was crazy. You know, they say the Browns are going to be the Browns, but when they announced, which shocked everybody yesterday, when they announced Todd Monken, the previous offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, Jim Schwartz went ballistic, y'all. He went ballistic. But I'm trying to pull up Todd Monken's resume here, man. This guy, Todd Monken won 2 national championships as the offensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs. Past 3 years, he was the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. 2 out of those 3 years, Lamar Jackson's won the MVP. The times when the Baltimore Ravens lost, that I forget the tight end's name. He dropped that ball in the end zone where they should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Ravens should have went to the Super Bowl. So I really personally feel that Todd Monken is going to be a really, really good hire for the Cleveland Browns. He's really experienced, y'all. He's really experienced. But I always tap into ESPN Cleveland, 92.3 The Fan, and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But this is Tony Rizzo. He comes on at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9 o'clock on the Tony Rizzo Show. It's a YouTube show up there in Cleveland. And the really big show, ESPN Cleveland. Let's listen to what Tony Rizzo, how he was shot.
ESPN Cleveland.
Hold on.
Breaking news.
Hold on.
Adam Schefter, we have a brand new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Monken will be the 19th head coach in Cleveland Browns history. What? Monken, baby.
So did you see, that's a long time ESPN sports analyst. Not only he's just been a sports analyst for like going on 30 years now. If you don't know him, I didn't know him until I started tapping in with my YouTube channel. That's Tony Rizzo, Anthony Rizzo, well-known sports analyst, currently with ESPN Cleveland. So, like I said, I really feel like Todd Monken is going to be a really good head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He's been involved with from college coaching through the NFL. He turns 60 next week. I think it's next Tuesday or Wednesday. He turns 60. You know, to me, age ain't nothing but a number because I'm a young age as Mr. Monken. I look good and I feel good. And I try to keep myself in a lot better shape than what I did when I first came out the military. But Todd Monken is the next head coach. Like I said, he won 2 national championships with the Georgia Bulldogs. He's been in the NFL offensive coordinator and different coordinator positions. And I want y'all to just listen to this man because, you know, it's really, I really felt like the Cleveland narrative, sports narrative up there was really just bashing Shedeur Sanders. But in me tapping in, following Shedeur Sanders, the media up there, they're just in misery. They've been so awful that they just really They talk bad about anybody, y'all. They talk bad about anybody, and it just blows me away. It blows me away what these media people be saying.
Cleveland Browns are hiring Todd Monken as the new head coach of the franchise. Such an unserious organization. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Browns fans. I don't really know what to tell you about this one. Per my research here, it turns out that Todd Monken seems to be the oldest first-time ever NFL head coach. Bruce Arians got his first full NFL coaching gig at the age of 60. Todd Monken is currently 59, but Bruce Arians did have a stint as an interim head coach prior to that. Todd Monken has never been a head coach in the NFL. He is 59, almost 60 years old, and this will be his first shot at being a head coach. How do you coach for 20, 30 plus years in the NFL without ever getting a head coaching gig? Lo and behold, the Cleveland Browns will give it to you. This whole head coaching search was a disaster. The whole thing was a failure. They set out to find a young, up-and-coming offensive mind who could come in and revolutionize the Cleveland Browns franchise, and instead, they land on the first person they reached out for an interview with, that this whole thing could have been done 3 weeks ago. If this was the ultimate conclusion for the Browns, was to hire Todd Monken, they could have been done 3 weeks ago. We wouldn't have had to drag this thing out for 24 freaking days, waste time, miss out on half of the Senior Bowl already, just to land on Todd Monken. That means Nate Shieldhouse told them no. I guarantee Jimmy Haslam, this is something to do with him, because there is no way you can convince me that Andrew Berry, who is clinging to his GM life in Cleveland, is going to hitch his cart, probably his only chance to hire a head coach, to Todd Monken. Unfreaking believable.
So do y'all hear that? Like I said, that's the dog podcast. I really like that particular person. I believe his name is Josh. But it's crazy how everyone reacted to the hiring of Todd Monken and how they feel like he's not a good pick. But I went and did some little digging and some investigation. I want you to listen to this man talk, y'all. If you think Todd Monken is going to suck for the Cleveland Browns, after you listen to him, you may just change your opinion, y'all. I think he's going to be a really good asset for whoever the quarterback's going to be for the Cleveland Browns this year, whether it be Shador, whether it be Deshaun Watson. Ain't no way in hell it's going to be Dylan Gabriel, but I hope he gets better too. But this man knows what he knows, y'all. So let's first play this.
Back team, put him more at risk. Right, you're going to be more play action, you're going to protect. TDs in the red zone, you're going to work your ass off in the red zone, it being really good, right? Are you going to be creative in the red zone? You're just going to line up and run duo, hope like hell you're better. No, you better not do that. You better be creative. Lost yardage plays, right? Eliminate lost yardage plays, get you behind the sticks. Third down conversions, because if you're sure as hell not explosive, if you're not good on third downs, you're screwed, you're punting. Okay, or fourth downs, which is converting now. And then QBs off scheduled, explosives, because that's changed. Statues are out, athletes are in.
That's Todd Monken, y'all. I got one more to show y'all. But, minimize turnovers, explosive plays, TDs in the red zone. That's a given. You want to be able to score touchdowns and not kick field goals. Third down conversions. But what he is really big on, everywhere he's been, whether it be at the University of Georgia, with the Ravens, and now with the Cleveland Browns, he likes quarterbacks that can do off-scripted plays. Y'all hear me? He's always liked quarterbacks that can do off-scripted plays, meaning when the play that he's called and the defense combats against it, do you have a quarterback that has the ability that can make something out of nothing? Now, I'm here to tell you, not only can Shador Sanders can do that, and he's proven that when he played at Jackson State, when he played for the University of Colorado. Deshaun Watson, before he got injured, I used to love me some Deshaun Watson, especially when he played for the University of Cleveland and when he played for the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson is a bad man. You know, he's fine. I believe he's going to be totally healed off of these 2 Achilles heel injuries. The Cleveland Browns let him come back the last 2 weeks and practice with the team on the practice squad, so I know he's stronger. You know, don't nobody know what he got left in the tank. You know, he turned his life back over to Christ last year. He got married. You know, he had all those legal issues being in those massage parlors, but you know, but the word tells us he amongst us who have not sinned, let him cast the first stone. So, you know, we need to, you know, he gave his life back to Christ. He's gotten married. You know, he paid off everything. He paid everything off in them legal battles. He had cases he had against him. To my knowledge, all but one. He need to go ahead on and get that taken care of. I don't condone his actions, but you know, we've all sinned in this world, so I'm gonna leave that at that. But Todd Monken, he got 2 quarterbacks there already in Deshaun Watson and especially Shedeur Sanders that can make plays out of nothing. So we'll see how that goes. So let's listen to Todd Monken one more time.
Of how you win are the same.
Why ain't it playing? Oh, here we go.
Good football still is surrounded by don't turn it over, be explosive, score touchdowns in the red zone, be good on 3rd downs, don't have lost yardage plays, and athletic quarterbacks that make off-schedule plays. The rest of it just falls into that. That's the analytical part. How do we get to that model? Don't turn it over, and how are we explosive? I don't care if it's with a fullback, without a fullback, 4 wide, 3 wide. My cousins at Army wanted to run a triple option. That works. Okay. Now you can only run what you know. You can't just make stuff up. I mean, it's fun to do that, but usually doesn't work. But the reality is that there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, but still the principles of how you win are the same.
I really, really like the decision that I really feel like this was a Jimmy Haslam decision on selecting Todd Monken, because all the talk was up there is that Andrew Berry, the general manager, wanted Nate Skillhouse, the passing game coordinator for the Rams, to come. But I really feel like the outcome of this decision, I feel that they knew that with Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, not being selected, how he would crash out, y'all, is the reason why they didn't take Nate Skillhouse, because he's only been in the NFL for the past 2 years. Imagine if he would have got named as head coach, and he doesn't have no network of people and connections hardly to build his staff. Whereas Todd Monken's been in the NFL through the college ranks and has a great deal of connections. He's already, after he got hired, it wasn't even 24 hours later, he already hired his offensive line coach. In the offensive side of the ball, the Cleveland Browns offensive line is horrible. And they're bringing typically, they only got one offensive lineman. His last name is Jones. He tore his knee up. He was hurt the last 2 years, so they're going to have a revamped total offensive line for this year. So he immediately made a move. And got his offensive line coach. So when the news broke, I'm trying to. Jimmy Haslam went ballistic, y'all. Reason why I'm saying he went ballistic when the news broke, and the reason I do feel like the Browns, from not knowing anything, from the outside looking in, from the way that Jim Schwartz reacted, it seems like he found out when everybody else, the fans and the media, found out that Todd Monken was being the new head coach. Jim Schwartz immediately told the staff within the Browns facility, he packed up his items. He said goodbye to the coaches and said he was not going to be returning. Now, he still got 1 year left in his contract, y'all. He got 1 year left in his contract. So he has to do two, you know, the owner Haslam would have to release him to be able to go play somewhere else, or he could try to ask for compensation. Like, say the San Francisco 49ers lost their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, because Robert Saleh got hired on for the Tennessee Titans to be down there with Cam Ward. So right now, the San Francisco 49ers are looking for a new defensive coordinator. In order for Jimmy the Haslam to even be able to be a possible candidate, is one, the Browns, the owner would have to allow Jim Schwartz to interview there. And then two, he would, if he gets accepted, he would have to release him because Jim Schwartz still has 1 year left on his contract. 1 year left on his contract. So this is going to be interesting on how this is going to turn out up there in Cleveland. It's going to be really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. There is one more thing. In the NBA, this just came out this week. Giannis plays for Milwaukee Bucks. He is not happy. He is not happy. They got the trade deadline coming up. He ain't happy with what's going on with the media. Let me let y'all hear what he had to say. Like I said, the NFL season's wrapping up with the Super Bowl coming up. We got the I haven't watched the All-Pro games in years, but with Shador and Coach Prime both being participating in it this year, I'll be watching it. But we got the All-Pro games, and then we have the Super Bowl. I'm going to transition over to NBA content, college basketball content, both male and females. I'm a big-time Dawn Staley supporter, and the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't think they're going to repeat as national champions this year. Oklahoma beat them twice the last 2 weeks. Oklahoma's looking like the team that's going to, got a really good chance to win the national championship in the double when the women's college basketball. Right now, South Carolina and Dawn Staley team dropped down to number 3, I believe. But let's listen to Giannis and how he's frustrated.
View this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. You know, sorry that I didn't want to make it personal because you asked me the same question last year, and last year I was in the right mind space to answer the question back, but I remember it.
Wow. Wow. I really loved that. I really loved how Giannis responded to the reporter's question. You know, he said he wasn't in the right headspace when that reporter asked him that same question last year, but he was very tactful. He was very professional. I really liked how he handled that response. Again, like I said, with the NFL season closing, with the Super Bowl coming up, I'm going to be dropping content on the NBA, various teams. Let me know who your NBA teams are, who your college teams are, both female and male. Going to be dropping that content. Premier Sports Media for you is going to cover all sports, winter, spring, summer, or fall, y'all. NBA, WNBA, NFL, MLB, boxing, all the seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall, 12 months out the year, y'all. I'm going to be giving you, you know, various different content and, you know, inspirational things also as they come up. Try to be an inspiration and give people hope, because a lot of people are depressed and they don't talk to people, and they keep it within themselves. And when we don't allow that poison out of our spirit, it can be detrimental to our minds. So for you Cleveland Browns fans, like I said, what's crazy is they got a new song for that Coach Munkins. It's really, really nice up there in Cleveland. But during the football season, I created this one when Shedeur Sanders got announced as they finally was going to let him play. So for all you Shedeur Sanders supporters and the Dog Pound, for Selmo and Will Reese, whenever you watch it, this is for you all before I sign out here. But hey, do me a favor, y'all. To let this be a winning segment here, I need y'all to hit that thumbs up button. It doesn't cost a thing. Hit that thumbs up button. It's free to hit that thumbs up button. Drop your opinions, drop your comments whenever you watch it, and continue to cook with me in 2026. I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk, and here go the Dog Pound theme song, at least one of them.
And the Bros gonna win for the land. Dog Pound, raise your wrists up. Dog Pound, do your victory dance. Jump, bark, jump. Dog Pound, raise your wrists up. Dog Pound, do your victory dance. Jump, bark, jump. Dog Pound, are you ready? We are next level. We represent for the land. We can't stop, won't stop, and moving our way. We are a band of brothers gonna win for the land. Dog Pound, are you ready? We are next level. We represent for the land. We can't stop, won't stop, and moving our will. We are a band of brothers gonna win for the land. Dog Pound, raise your wrists up. Dog Pound, do your victory dance. Jump, bark, jump.
Now that was for y'all Dog Pound fans. But like I told you, I bleed black and yellow. I'm a Steelers man.
Riding down the boulevard, wish you could see the boulevard, yeah. I've been working hard, but they can't keep up with me. So they hating on the guy, wish you could see the boulevard, yeah. I've been working hard, they ain't got nothing on me. Riding down the boulevard, wish you could see the boulevard, yeah. I've been working hard, but they can't keep up with me. So they hating on the guy, wish you could see the boulevard, yeah.
Thank you for supporting Premier Sports Talk. I'm your host, Double P. Do me a favor, before you tap out or when you tap in, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up, y'all. Hit that thumbs up. Y'all have a blessed evening. Thank you for blessing me, and may you receive blessings back double fold. I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk. I'll see you when I see you.